Hi, this is Tim, aka Tricky Hands. In this video, I'll be discussing how to use texture atlases with ProBuilder objects. This is using Unity 5 and ProBuilder version 2.4.2. Now, to start off with, I had 4 textures going into this project that could be used to create all of these different variations of crates. So you can see those down here in the project window. Each of these is a 256 by 256 texture, so I just took those and created a single texture that is 512 by 512 with all 4 texture maps on it. From that, I also created a normal map to go with it and brought it all into Unity to create my material using the standard shader. So let's go ahead and start building these. So we'll clear out our scene and put a brand new ProBuilder cube in. If we put our material on it right away, you'll see our projection does not look good. All 4 crate variations are being projected onto our cube. So we're going to fix that by manipulating the UVs. In the past, this was rather difficult to do, but the UV editor that was introduced in ProBuilder makes this a dream. So what we'll do is open up our UV editor window and select our object. You can see right now I'm in face selection mode. You can also select edges or vertices. I prefer to work in vertices for something like this. And our faces of our cube, all 6 faces, are actually stacked on top of each other here in our texture space. So we can manipulate each set of vertices all at the same time by doing something like a drag selection. And that's exactly what we're going to do. I'm going to start out by making this first crate have this texture in the lower left hand corner. So I'll drag select the top vertices here, and I'm holding down Control, and I'll drag this handle down, and it's going to snap to the grid until we get to the center of our texture space. You can see everything updating in real time in our scene view. And we'll do the same thing here. Control, drag to snap it to the grid. Get it halfway into our texture space, and we have our first crate already done. So let's go ahead and take that, duplicate it, move it down in our scene here so it's out of the way. Go back into our UV window, and now with all of these selected, we can just Control drag and go to the center of our handles here and just drag the entire UV space up to our next texture. With that done, we'll create our third cube. Select all our vertices in our UV editor and Control drag to move that over to our next crate. Duplicate again, and now we'll have our 4th crate variation complete in minutes. Now you can also select just certain faces on an object so that you can combine the different textures within your texture space in order to make something entirely different. So in this case, I'm going to start off by moving all of my UV over to this section. I'm going to go into face selection mode inside my scene view. I just find this to be a bit easier at times. When I select the face in the scene view, it's going to also be selected inside of my UV editor. And I'm going to select the top and bottom of this cube using Shift Select. You do not want to use Control Select when you're doing this, because that'll do an auto stitch in the UV editor, and that's a discussion for an entirely different video. So now that I've got the top and bottom selected, I can move those over using my Control drag method. And then one thing that you might want to do with all your UVs, once everything is said and done, is select all the overlapping vertices that you have, and you want to weld those UVs together, even these ones on the edge, because there is actually overlap there. Sometimes it's hard to remember those things, but it's good practice to weld all these once you are set as to how your model is going to look. So that's already 5 different variations on the cube theme, or the crate theme that we have going here. And with each of these, you can do any number of variations depending on how many, close my UV window here, depending on how many different maps you have inside your atlas. You could take a 1024 by 1024 texture, and depending on how many crates you can squeeze into that space without losing quality, you could go on all day and make hundreds and hundreds of variations on crates, change your normal maps, so on and so forth. But just this 5 different crates, we're only using 1 texture, 1 normal map, and 1 material to handle all of it.